This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Wednesday, May 28, 2025. I'm Marek Mazurek. The city of Gary on Tuesday unveiled its vision and action plan for the city's downtown, a plan that was developed in partnership with the University of Notre Dame School of Architecture. The final report is designed to serve as a roadmap for city leadership to follow in order to, quote, reestablish the city's building culture, end quote. Notre Dame's Housing and Community Regeneration Initiative is the program behind the plans, and Director Marianne Cusado says the plan was a community-based process.
What is their vision of the place that they would like to build? And so we just look at what was there historically, we look at what is there now, and then drew up some images, shared them at the event that we held last August, got feedback, immediate feedback, redrew. And so it's a very collaborative process.
The Housing and Regeneration Initiative works with municipalities and nonprofits within a 100-mile radius of South Bend to work on economic development vision and strategies across the built environment. The report unveiled Tuesday focuses on 6 key areas: historic preservation and blight reversal strategies, zoning code and regulatory framework, urban intervention proposals, street design proposals, architectural identity and design standards, and pre-approved template plans. Cusado said updating the city's zoning code is one item that's currently being addressed in order to move existing barriers to development. The parent company of Hostess Brands announced late Tuesday it plans to close its Eastside Indianapolis manufacturing facility. Ohio-based J.M. Smucker Company said the change is part of a greater consolidation effort. The Indianapolis facility manufactures Hostess brand items, which include Twinkies, Ding Dongs, Donuts, and cupcakes. The facility is expected to close by the end of 2026. The company also said it plans to sell the 225,000 square foot facility on Shadeland Avenue. A Smucker spokesperson told IBJ on Wednesday that the company has around 260 employees at that facility. J.M. Smucker purchased the long-troubled snack cake company in a $5.6 billion cash and stock deal in 2023. Before that, Hostess filed for bankruptcy in 2012. At the time, Hostess laid off about 800 workers in Indiana, including nearly 300 in Indianapolis. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
Florida-based Postal Center International has opened its 4th full-service mail processing center in Brownsburg. The $8 million, 65,000 square foot facility known as PCI Midwest has the capacity to process several million pieces of first-class mail each day. A PCI spokesperson told Inside Indiana Business that 100 new jobs have been created at the new facility thus far, and more positions are being added weekly. PCI is a business alliance partner with the U.S. Postal Service and says the Brownsburg facility will expand that relationship by boosting the USPS's regional capacity. Elanco Animal Health has zeroed in on a new chief financial officer to help lead the Greenfield-based company's growth. Elanco on Wednesday announced Robert Van Himbergen, who will serve as CFO starting in July. Van Himbergen is currently with Batesville-based manufacturing firm Hillenbrand and will continue there until the end of June. Van Himbergen joined Hillenbrand in 2022. Prior to that, he spent 15 years at Johnson Controls in various roles as he worked his way through the company ranks. At Elanco, Van Himbergen will be tasked with helping the company grow. Per the company's release, Elanco has several projects, quote, in launch mode, end quote. Elanco makes products to treat diseases in farm animals and pets. And the Indianapolis Colts and the Irsay family plan to hold a private memorial service next week for late team owner Jim Irsay, who died May 21st. The service will be closed to the public, and it's scheduled for Monday at St. Luke's United Methodist Church in Indianapolis. Plans for a public tribute have not been finalized and will be shared at a later date, the Colts said. University of Southern Indiana President Stephen Bridges is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC. A weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Mark Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.